on the document, you're going to see the poem called Choice. Choice, choice, choice. Does anyone want to read this poem out loud? It's pretty short. Anyone willing to read out loud?
No, because my parents are home and it's going to be loud.
I'll read it. Go ahead. Now you can be featured on my YouTube reading.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I'm going to read from your screen because
Okay.
this thing is acting slow. It's not loading.
Whatever works.
Into each pack, 1 pair of pants, 1 pair of shorts, 3 pairs of underwear, 2 shirts, sandals, toothbrush and paste, soap, 10 palms of rice grains, 3 clumps of cooked rice, 1 choice. I chose my doll, 1 lent to a neighbor, who left it outside where mice bit her left cheek and right thumb. I love her more for her scars. I dressed her in a red and white dress with matching hat and booties
Yeah, like little boots.
that mother knitted.
Beautiful. Thank you. So on Monday, we read about they made a big decision as a family. What was the decision that they made? Who remembers?
That they was going to leave.
Good. They were going to leave Vietnam and they weren't going to stay and let the war kind of occur around them. They were going to get out and try and escape. So this poem, with the title being Choice, is all about the items they can bring with them and the one item they're allowed to bring with them. So I don't know, what do you guys think about what they're allowed to bring, and how would this compare to if you were going to leave your home? Like, let's say you were moving, you were going to move neighborhoods or move to another state. What do you notice about what they're allowed to bring?
Like clothing and things that they mostly use every day.
Right. Stuff that they really desperately need, but even to the point where, like, how many pairs of pants are they bringing and pairs of, shorts? One.
Uno.
Yeah, one of those. They get 2 shirts, 3 pairs of underwear, yet we don't know yet where they're going or how long it'll take to get there. So you're right. They're only bringing what they need, but they're still not really bringing much at all.
That's very little clothes.
Yeah,
I can't live without.
I know, it's a very little stuff. And then they're allowed to bring one thing they actually want, one thing out of all their belongings that they have. They're allowed one choice. And what does Ha choose?
Her doll.
Her doll. So obviously, hopefully we recognize that if she's making this choice to bring the doll, it has to be somewhat important to the story, right? The author is making the doll an important part of the story here because it's what Ha wants to take. So let's think for a minute what a doll in general could symbolize to us, or maybe to Ha. What do dolls or toys like that oftentimes represent?
A child.
A child, or your child what?
Your friend?
Yeah, I heard it. Say it again.
Childhood?
Childhood. Good. These toys like this, like a doll or even maybe a stuffed animal or a blanket, some of us may still have them because they represent our childhood, right? It may not be that she wants to play with it, but it more so represents her comfort and her childhood. So up here on the organizer, if you scroll back up, where it says doll, I've gone through and I've put in the items for you that we're going to look at today. And the first one obviously being the doll. And we're going to say what we just talked about. The symbol is that represents childhood. Anything else come to mind for a symbol of what it might represent? Yeah.
Her dad gave it to her when she was a child.
Can you say it a little bit louder? For some reason, you sound kind of far away.
What if it's something her dad gave her?
A child. Oh wait, I didn't mean to say child. What's it called? A friend or a child?
Okay, you guys are getting at something. I'm going to scroll back down for a minute. You're both close to something, but we want to think a little bit deeper even. So this is the doll. One lent to a neighbor who left it outside. where mice bit her left cheek and her right thumb. I love her more for her scars. So Ha is likes this doll,
Oh,
even though
oh,
it's all beaten up and destroyed. What are you
I
thinking?
know.
What?
That like she likes it because it's been through a lot like she has, you feel? Like
Ah. Yeah, we'll say that last part. Who also has been through a lot?
oh,
Her. She's been through a lot, right? And because you guys were getting at that, she has lost her friend. She has lost her dad. Maybe it reminds her of her childhood. She didn't really get to know her dad, but maybe it kind of reminds her of a time where she might have known him. So I'm so glad you brought that up because it's part of the reason she also has scars and has been through a lot.
Yeah,
So the
everybody. I think
doll
almost everybody has that one thing that refers
rem-
to them.
yeah, so it reminds her of her childhood, but it also reminds her of her. She's been through a lot herself. So let's go up to our organizer again because things can have more than one symbol here. And we're going to put Ha, and then I'm just going to put in parentheses herself. Xavier, I see that you say that it could be a memory or have like a memory. I'm going to put that with childhood just because the dolls are a symbol of childhood and maybe the memory of childhood and the past, but you're definitely right there too.
Mess.
Yes.
I have a theory.
What is that theory?
A doll is just a listening device sent by the commies. That's why it has scars, because they put a listening device on it.
Whoa. Plot twist. The communists are spying on Ha.
Yeah.
That
Oh
would
my
be
God,
that would be
Ahmed.
a good plot twist, to be honest. We'll see. The dolls, this is not the last time we'll hear of the doll, so you may be onto something. I won't tell you one way or another.
On a story like this and the dolls like that with cars does not end well, okay?
Creepy, yeah, scars and cuts. It reminds me of the Annabelle doll in The Conjuring. You've seen that?
Oh my God.
Yeah, creepy. So what we're going to do is in the box where it says meaning, we're not going to be doing the explanation box today. That would be like a little bit longer with some evidence citing, which we're going to save for tomorrow or a future time. We just want to think about the meaning of these symbols. So what does it actually mean? So we named it, we said what it was at, what was the symbol was, and now we want to talk about what it actually means. So this is how I'm going to show you, and you can copy it down and help me add to it just so you know when you go to do the next one. So I would say something such as the doll reminds Ha of her childhood and represents own life of past, her own life, which has been filled with challenges. This is just the start of an analysis. This would not be enough, but this is just getting a little bit deeper because then what I would do and what we will do is we'll move forward into the explanation where I would go on to explain that the doll has scars. Ha also has emotional scars from, like you guys were saying, her dad being missing, her friend leaving, the war happening, her family struggling. So my explanation box would go even further and bring in evidence and explain the comparison and the actual symbol of what it stands for. But this is just taking it to that next step. So just a brief meaning of what the symbol actually is.
Miss,
Yes.
I kind of changed the wording around. I put represent your own life, which has been totally. You get it? I put the sh, that word.
You totally know. Okay,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad you filtered.
Mhm.
You know what? If you want to keep that for yourself, you do that.
But
I'm not going to put that, but you're not wrong. Right? Because the scars here, obviously the doll has physical scars that's been cut and kind of, left out in the cold and the rain and the war, whereas Ha's scars, are her scars physical? Does Ha have like cuts and bruises that we really know?
No, they're mentally.
Yeah, mental or
Mental, yeah.
emotional, right? She's personally been through a lot. She's dealt with trauma of her own and difficulties of her own. So I'm going to give you another 30 seconds just to make sure you got those two things down. And then the next three things come from a different poem and are actually going to be from a poem that talks about what they have to now leave behind. So the doll was something Ha's taking with her. Now we're going to leave about some stuff that they have to leave behind and a few things they still get to bring and what those represent to each person. So I am going to scroll down. I'll come back up if you didn't get this all down. And this poem is on your paper as well. So if you scroll down past the choice poem, it's down there somewhere, and it's called Left Behind. Anyone want to read this one?
I guess I'll read it, man.
Go ahead. Did somebody else want to split it and read some too?
I want to read all of it.
All right, Matt, go ahead, read all of it.
No, Julius, you start, and then Ahmed can. I think there's two. It goes on to another page. So where it splits, why don't you pause?
All right, but Miss, I'm reading off your screen.
Okay.
10 gold-rimmed glasses father brought back from America, where he trained before I was born. Brother Quang's report cards, each ranking him first in class, beginning in kindergarten. Vines of bougainvillea, whatever, fully in bloom. Burgundy, burgundy, burgundy white, like the colors of her house. Vines of jasmines in front of every window that remind Mother of the North. A cowboy leather belt Brother Vu sewed on Mother's machine and broke her needle. That was when he adored Johnny Cash more than Bruce Lee. A row of glass jars Brother Coy used to raise fighting fish. 2 hooks and the hammock where I nap.
Perfect. Ahmed, you want to pick up there? Where it says photographs.
Yeah. Photographs. Every tet at zoo, every father in youth. Mother in her youth, baby pictures. Where you can't tell whose bottom is exposed for the world to see. Mother chooses 10 and burns the rest. We cannot leave evidence of father's life that might hurt him.
Thank you. Nice job, guys. So what we're gonna do now, and I'm gonna have you try this one kind of on your own, and then we'll pause to talk about it, is again, they're listing off things that are left behind. So this poem cues us in based on the title that these are some items each person now has to leave behind. So we're going to start with the report card one, which is in the second stanza, and you may need to scroll to this on your own poem. So it says, Brother Quang's report cards, each ranking him first in class, beginning in kindergarten. So I want you to take a minute, more than a minute, but tell me what you think the report cards actually can represent or symbolize, right? Yes, they are actually report cards, but are they just report cards to him? What do they mean to him? What do they represent? Okay, so take, let's say, to 140, maybe a minute or two past that to try and fill in this next part of the organizer. So what do the report cards represent? And give me a little bit of like a brief sentence or two about what they actually mean to Quang. Alrighty. So 139, let's say we'll talk as a group at 143. So that gives you like 4 minutes here to get something down. So I'm going to put my screen off just so I can check in. I want to see everybody trying.
Wait, Miss, do we put anything in explanation?
No, don't worry about explanation yet. We're going to leave all these blank for today and we'll come back to those. So just symbol and meaning. Actually, I'll leave my screen up for a minute in case anyone still needs this one. So don't forget to use the poem too to help you. For your meaning, think about why Brother Quang might be having difficulty leaving this item behind, because what does it mean to him? And think about what life could be like once they do leave. So think about the poem as a whole, but why this specific item? Take 2 more minutes. If for some reason you were able to get both down already, you can try to move on to one of the others. You can go down to the photograph one or do the cowboy belt. Another minute here, 30 seconds. And then can you put your hand up in the chat if you're feeling like you have something you want to share for the symbol? There's a few different ones that are going to work. So put your hand up. Julius, you'll get a chance. I'm going to see if somebody new who hasn't spoken yet wants to share, but then you'll have a chance to still put some ideas out there. So put your hand up if you're someone who thinks they have something or has something they can at least work through. I would love someone new here. I'm going to call on someone new. Should I pick on? Alexiani, you there? Or is she still having a conversation or in the bathroom? Alexiani? All right, let's see. Jose, you're gonna help me out with this one. You hear me?
Mrs. Volume's down.
Of course it is. Jose. All right, ready? So what do you think the report cards represent to Quang? Did you get a chance to write an answer down? What do these report cards represent to him?
All right.
I have the little
This computer is really laggy. All right. All right. So, what did you say? The report cards?
What do they represent to Brother Quang? I have the little part of the poem pulled up if you need it still.
Represents ranking him in first class, which means he's smart.
Okay, so he is definitely smart because he's been ranked first in class since when?
Huh?
How long has he been ranked first in class for?
He trained.
Look at the one below that where you just read. How long has he been first in class?
Like the Fully in Bloom one?
No, look right where you were reading before. It says they rank him first in class. How long has he been the top student in class for? Look right underneath
in kindergarten?
Yeah, since kindergarten. And I don't know if you remember, but he's the oldest brother. He's 21 now, and he's been first in his class since he was in kindergarten. So what do these report cards, they definitely tell us that he's smart. So they represent all of his what?
Achievements?
Achievements, good. Achievements would be a great word to
use.
He's
been first in class for 16 years.
Yeah, that's a long time to be, right? So we're going to definitely put that this is a symbol of his achievements, or you could use the word accomplishments, works too. Nice job. Make sure you get this down, Jose, okay? What else did people say? Julius, did you have another one you wanted to share?
No, but I wanted to read my meaning.
Okay, hold on 1 second and then we'll get there. Anyone else
his
have one?
smartness.
Okay, maybe not necessarily just, maybe I wouldn't use smartness. What's another word that would...
His ability to achieve in being smart.
I'm thinking of a word that starts with an S.
Intelligence.
Suspicious.
Okay, intelligence getting closer. I was thinking success.
Oh.
They represent his intelligence and his success. And also, what do we know about how he feels towards school? If he's worked for, like Jose said, 16 or more years to be first in his class, that takes hard work. So what does it tell us about how he views school and education?
He's very like how you say it? He's very like he gets on about school. Like I don't know how to say it, bro.
Yeah. Anyone else want to give it a try? How they might phrase it?
He's very.
Can you rephrase it, Miss?
Yeah. So how could we say
dependent?
that? Okay, he's independent, but more so, how does he feel about school?
School is important for him or to him. He values school. There you go.
Yes, there we go. Values education. Right? He values going to school. He values education enough to work hard enough to be first in his class since kindergarten. Right? He's very much valuing his own success and achievements as he should be, but he places a lot of value on his education. Before I let you read your meaning, Julius, which I will, is there somebody who hasn't had a chance to share much today or talk that would like to kind of say what they put for their meaning? You can sum it up.
Can I do it?
Who is that?
That's a man.
Someone who hasn't spoken much. Is there anyone?
To do what?
To share their meaning?
No.
A lot of male voices in here today, which I love. Any of my girls, can you share your meanings that you put down? No. Anyone? Layla, did you get a meaning down? Did you explain why the report cards were important to Quang? Did you get a chance to do that?
I did not.
Can you talk to me for a minute? I'll kind of guide you in the right direction here. Why do you think Brother Quang is so sad about leaving his report cards behind? Because probably most of us probably wouldn't care too much about that. Why might he be sad based on what we know it symbolizes?
I do not know.
If he has been so successful first in his class for years, and now they're leaving home and going who knows where, what's most likely going to be the case in any other country? Think about if you were to move to another country right now. What would it be like for you in terms of getting an education? Easier, harder?
Well, it would be harder, definitely.
How come?
I don't know how to explain it. It's just.
Anyone want to help out? I think you are on. Go ahead.
Because he's so skilled in the school that he's learning in that it might be harder for him.
Absolutely. And think about too, if you were to go, let's say you guys were to go to Vietnam, what's going to be the number one issue? in going to their schools?
The language barrier.
Absolutely, right? They're speaking a completely different language. So it's even if you're smart, which he is, it's going to be hard no matter where you go if you don't know how to speak their language. There's no way you can be as smart as you were. You're probably going to feel quite the opposite. So the reason that it's so difficult for him to leave behind these report cards is because he knows, going anywhere else, he has to let go of all of these accomplishments and this success. He's not going to be ranked the same here or ranked the same elsewhere as he was here. Nice job. So Julia, did you have a meaning you wanted to share too, even if it was kind of part of that or some of that?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, go ahead and then we can put it all together.
The report cards represent. Wait, was Brother Quang? That's his name, right?
Yeah.
All right. The report cards represent how smart Brother Quang is and how much his achievements mean to him. If he leaves it behind, he will lose all his accomplishments that he earned from working hard.
Good, very good. And I think we just need to add in what the girls were saying about what it would be like in another country. So the report cards represent how much Brother Quang values his achievements. Oops. And we'll say educational success.
Miss, also, it's like a ranking system. They have
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What do you mean by that?
Because if we go back in the story, it says right here, Brother Quang's report cards, each ranking him first in class. So they have kind of like a ranking system. The higher your grade is, the better. Like, you know,
Yeah, you get ranked an actual number. Like it used to be kind of a thing. Like some schools do something similar. Like in high school, if you've heard of, or in college, to a valedictorian. That word, that's the person who has the highest GPA. They don't often do some of that. They don't often do that these days because I don't know, that's kind of been, turned away from a little bit to actually rank people. But you're right, in this culture, people are clearly being assigned a rank in class based on their success. So that's an important word. I'm glad you brought that word up for sure. And that might not be the case anywhere else he goes, right? People might not actually care about a rank. So the report cards represent how much Brother Quang values his achievements and educational success. Leaving them behind means what? What could we say? What were we talking about? Leaving them behind means he recognizes or he knows. What does he know is going to happen?
That like he won't be able to like show that off.
Okay, that his intelligence may not be. I'm going to change this word here. Leaving them behind means he knows. That way I can use recognizes down here. He knows that his intelligence may not be recognized elsewhere. So I just changed that word around. So leaving them behind means he knows that his intelligence may not be recognized elsewhere, which is what we were saying, is he's going to, wherever he ends up, or it seems like wherever he ends up, the language will be different, the system will be different, what they're actually learning about will be different. And if he was smart here, it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be smart and the first in his class elsewhere. That's pretty difficult when you completely switch cultures and curriculums and schools. Get that down. We're going to be pausing there for today. So please make sure you get that part of it down. It's important to not only just think about what it symbolizes, but then what it means to that person or means to the text or is revealing about the text. So taking it that step further, which will be helpful for our essay writing and our analysis, which we're going to get into more in the next week or so. Don't get too excited now. So once you finish that up, you don't turn it in because we're gonna do the other two tomorrow when you guys come in. And then we're gonna have some time to do a little bit of, hopefully in groups, do some just reading to get moving in our book. So you don't need to finish it for homework unless you didn't get these two done. You don't have to worry about the explanation boxes as long as, zoom out, this stuff is all done. These 4 boxes, then you're all set. You have nothing you need to worry about. We'll do the other 2 tomorrow.